So Finland has an Independence Day. It's December 6th, and it's basically a day to remember how they've overcome the wars that have happened, how they've overcome the oppression brought by Russia, and how they've overcome the Swedish Empire. They mainly focus on the war that they had with Russia. That was in the early 1900s. And that was such a hard time for them when they were under a lot of Soviet rule and oppression that they don't really like to think about those days because it was really hard. And when you talk with the older generation of Finnish people, they do remember the war still. And they remember how hard it was. And they remember how they sometimes were sent to other countries for school and just to live so that they didn't have to live in Finland during the time of the war. But now more of the younger generation, they don't remember the war because they weren't alive at that time. So it's changing a little bit in that sense that it's not as much of a big problem now than it was maybe 50 years ago when the war was still on people's minds. But Independence Day is really kind of a fun concept. It's a lot of military involvement. There's a lot of military involvement in that they have a lot of processionals, and they have a really big kind of like a memorial celebration in different cities. And so I served in the middle of Finland in a place called Jyväskylä, and we went to a celebration there in commemoration of Independence Day. And they had military leaders come in. We sang the national anthem with the army band, and we celebrated it like that. And there weren't any fireworks, there weren't any big parades. It was all pretty simple yet serene, in the sense that we really remembered why Finland was independent and why we were so grateful to be free. And it was more of nostalgic than celebration, which was really interesting and really fascinating to see. Because sometimes in the States we tend to just celebrate and go out and party, but in Finland it was more of the serene side of where the country had been, but where it was going. And they televised different military events, and they had a huge military showcase in another city in Finland that was televised all over the nation. And I only know that because we went to a member's house for dinner and they were watching it, and they had us come see the armed to rifle thing that was going on. But it was really cool to see that. They have one of their biggest holidays, besides the traditional Christmas and Easter, is in the very middle of the summer. It's the Summer Solstice, and it's called, in English it's Midsummer's Eve, in Finnish it's Juhannusaalto and Juhannus, and that is when the entire day is full of light. The sun doesn't set, and they love light. The Finns love summer because it's light all day. In the wintertime, it's hard because it's dark all the time. And when there's dark all around you, sometimes you get sad and depressed. But when there's light all around you, you're really happy. And so that's why the Finns love summer. And so this one day is a huge celebration. Businesses close, stores close, everyone just goes out to their summer cottages and has bonfires and has parties, and they stay up all night long while we missionaries are sleeping. And they just have so much fun staying up and enjoying the sunlight. And it's really fun to just see them because they are so different in the summertime, personality-wise, than in the wintertime, because they're so much more light and happiness and joy in the summertime. And so that was one of my favorite holidays to watch, just to see how the people changed. Another is Christmas. Christmas is a huge holiday in Finland. They take it really to heart, I think. The state church is the Lutheran church, and then also there's a lot of influence from the Russian Orthodox Church. And so it's funny because Christmas is a really big holiday, but Easter is also a really big holiday. And Christmas is mainly sponsored and put on by the Lutheran Church, and Easter is mostly sponsored and put on by the Russian Orthodox Church. But in the Christmas time, all the streets are lit up with lights, and they have wreaths everywhere. And for weeks during the Christmas season, the Lutheran churches will have different pageants and different celebrations of the story of Jesus, the birth story, the nativity scene. And they perform or they'll hold performances, and they will really take the story of the Christ child and make it into a grand experience for everyone to witness. And it's really ornate and just really well done. And everyone loves Christmas. And usually it's snowing outside, and so everyone's happy because it makes the darkness disappear for a little bit because the snow is so bright. One fun thing about Christmas is their traditions. Everyone goes over to their families, and they will eat a huge celebration dinner together. And at night, this is Christmas Eve, Santa Claus comes to the house, and they will sing. He'll knock on the door, and then all the kids get so excited, and they just think, oh, Santa Claus is here, I'm going to give my presents. And the parents open the door, and Santa Claus comes in. And when Santa Claus comes in, everyone sings a song about Santa Claus. And it's the same song. You can go look it up online. It's all about joulupukki. And all the kids know it by heart. All the parents know it by heart. And it describes who Santa Claus is. And so they sing the song, and then Santa Claus comes in, he sits down, and everyone has a chance to sit on his lap and get presents.